If you've ever looked at a skill like Canva design and felt unsure whether it's something businesses actually pay for, that uncertainty makes sense. Many beginner-friendly skills feel useful while you're learning them, but unclear when it comes to real income. Designing marketing visuals using Canva templates sits right in that gray area, where it's easy to wonder if it's practical or just another tool that doesn't go anywhere. In this video, we're going to step back and look at how this skill fits into real business situations, why learning a skill alone often leads to frustration, and what actually determines whether a skill becomes useful outside of tutorials. The goal here isn't to promise outcomes, but to give you enough clarity to decide whether this is a path worth taking seriously. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The market does not reward skills. The market rewards solved problems. A skill only becomes valuable when it is clearly connected to a problem that someone already feels and is already trying to fix. Without that connection, even practical skills feel useless. That's why you see people who know a lot, but earn very little, and others with simpler skills earning consistently. This is especially true with tools that look easy or accessible. Canva is a perfect example. Many beginners open Canva, make a few designs, and then stop. They think, this is nice, but it's not a real skill. Others learn it casually and assume that because it's simple, nobody would pay for it. But this thinking ignores how businesses actually operate. Small businesses are not looking for artistic perfection. They are not looking for complex branding systems. They are looking for something much more practical. They need marketing visuals that look clean, clear, and professional enough to not damage their credibility. They need social media posts, promotions, announcements, and simple graphics. And most importantly, they need these things consistently. This leads directly to the problem many businesses face. They know visuals matter, but they can't afford a professional designer. Hiring a designer feels expensive, slow, and risky. At the same time, doing it themselves feels time-consuming and frustrating. This creates a gap between what they want and what they can realistically do. This is where the skill we're focusing on today lies. The one and only skill in this video is designing marketing visuals using Canva templates. Not graphic design as a whole, not creativity, not branding strategy. One focused, practical skill. Taking existing Canva templates and turning them into usable marketing visuals that solve real business needs. This skill is valuable because it operates in a space where expectations are reasonable. Businesses are not asking for originality. They are asking for clarity. They want their message to be readable. They want their posts to look organized. They want consistency without thinking about it. Canva templates are built exactly for this purpose, and learning how to use them properly is more than clicking buttons. It's understanding layout, spacing, text hierarchy, and visual balance within a business context. Now, here's an important idea that many beginners miss. Learning Canva itself is not the income skill. Knowing where to click is not what people pay for. The income skill is knowing how businesses use visuals and being able to deliver those visuals reliably using Canva templates as your tool. Once you understand this, something interesting happens. You stop asking, can this make money? And start asking, in how many ways does this problem show up? And the answer is, more than one. The same core skill can be applied in different economic structures, different paths, different lifestyles, and this is where things become practical instead of theoretical. The first income path is the most straightforward and often the easiest for complete beginners to understand. This is providing done-for-you marketing visuals for small businesses. In this path, a business hires you to regularly create visuals for them using Canva templates. This could be social media posts, promotional graphics, simple ads, or announcements. You are not inventing concepts. The business usually already knows what they want to say. Your role is to turn that message into a clean visual. This works because businesses don't want to think about design details. They don't want to choose fonts, align elements, or resize graphics. They want the final result. You take existing templates, adjust them to match the business's colors, logo, and message, and deliver finished visuals. This path is suitable for people who prefer clear tasks and steady routines. You don't need to be persuasive or charismatic. You need to be organized, responsive, and consistent. Many businesses value reliability more than creativity. Showing up on time matters more than being impressive. A realistic way to start this path is not by chasing big clients. It's by practicing with realistic examples. Create sample visuals for imaginary businesses or offer a small trial to a local business. The goal at the beginning is not income. The goal is understanding workflow. How long does a post take? What feedback do clients give? Where do revisions usually happen? One of the most common mistakes here is trying to offer too much. Beginners often feel they need to add strategy, content planning, or copywriting to be valuable. This usually backfires. It increases pressure and reduces clarity. Remember, the skill is designing marketing visuals using Canva templates. Stay focused. Deliver exactly that, and do it well. Another mistake is treating this as a one-time task instead of an ongoing service. Businesses don't need one post. They need visuals every week. This consistency is where the real value lies. Before moving forward, ask yourself this question. If you were a business owner, would you rather spend your evenings learning Canva or pay someone a reasonable amount to never think about it again? That preference is what makes this path realistic. In the next part, we'll look at a second income path that uses the same skill, but removes most client communication and focuses on creating reusable value instead of repeated work. So far, we've looked at a direct service path. You use your Canva design skill to create visuals for businesses on an ongoing basis. This works, but it's not for everyone. Some people enjoy working with clients. Others find constant communication tiring. The good news is that the same skill can be used in a completely different way. The second income path is about creating reusable Canva templates that solve specific business problems and making them available to many users. The skill does not change. You are still designing marketing visuals using Canva templates. What changes is how the value is delivered. Instead of customizing visuals for one business at a time, you design templates once and allow multiple people to use them. These templates are built for a clear use case. For example, promotional posts for service businesses, announcement graphics for online sellers, or educational posts for content creators. The more specific the use case, the more useful the template becomes. This path works because many business owners want speed and simplicity. They don't want to hire someone. They want something they can edit themselves in minutes. They're not buying design. They're buying convenience. This path is suitable for people who like working independently and thinking in systems. You don't need to respond to daily messages or manage expectations. Your focus is on designing templates that are easy to use, flexible, and hard to break. Good templates guide the user visually, even if they have no design sense. A realistic way to start is by identifying repetition. Look at business pages and notice how often the same types of posts appear. Sales announcements, testimonials, feature highlights, event promotions. These patterns exist because businesses repeat the same communication needs. Your templates are simply organized responses to those needs. A common mistake in this path is over-designing. Beginners often try to impress with complex layouts, multiple fonts, and heavy decoration. This usually reduces usability. Businesses want clarity. Simple designs that adapt easily are more valuable than elaborate ones. Another mistake is being too general. Templates for any business often feel vague. Templates for a specific type of business or purpose feel intentional. Specificity builds trust. What makes this path realistic is that it separates effort from time. You put in work up front, and then the same work can generate value multiple times. This doesn't mean it's passive or easy. It means the structure is different. Now, pause for a moment and reflect. In both paths so far, you're not becoming a designer in the traditional sense. You're becoming a problem solver for businesses that need visuals but don't want complexity. Canva is just the delivery method. This leads us to the third income path, which is often overlooked but very practical. The third path is working as a visual support role inside a business or team. Many businesses have people handling marketing, content, or communication who are not designers. These people know what needs to be posted but struggle with making it look good quickly. This creates friction. In this path, you support that internal workflow. You take requests like, "We need a post for this update," or "We're launching this offer," and you turn those requests into clean visuals using Canva templates. You are not leading strategy. You are executing visuals. This path is suitable for people who value stability and routine. The work is repetitive in a positive way. You learn the brand once and apply it repeatedly. The expectations are clear and the scope is limited. A realistic way to start is by positioning yourself as a visual assistant rather than a designer. This lowers pressure. Businesses are often more comfortable hiring support than hiring creative talent. You're offering reliability, not inspiration. A common mistake here is underestimating the role. Because Canva feels simple, beginners sometimes assume the work has little value. But businesses care deeply about consistency and speed. Being the person who can deliver visuals without friction makes you valuable. At this point, you should notice a pattern. All three paths solve the same underlying problem. Businesses need marketing visuals but lack time, budget, or skill. The difference is how you choose to deliver the solution. In the final part, we'll compare these three paths calmly and realistically, and talk about how a beginner should choose one path to focus on, and what progress actually looks like over time. Now that we've explored all three income paths, it's time to step back and compare them without emotion or hype. All three are built on the same foundation: designing marketing visuals using Canva templates. None of them require advanced artistic talent. None of them promise quick results. They simply fit different personalities and priorities. The first path, done-for-you visuals for businesses, is the most direct. Time and effort are closely linked. You work, you get paid. This path often produces results sooner because the value is obvious to businesses. However, it requires communication, boundaries, and consistency. If you enjoy structure and interaction, this path can feel satisfying. The second path, reusable templates, shifts effort to the beginning. You work once and potentially benefit multiple times. The income is less predictable at first, but the workload can become lighter over time. This path suits people who like building systems and refining products quietly. The third path, internal visual support, offers stability. The income is usually consistent, the expectations are clear, and the work becomes routine. This path suits people who want predictability and low decision fatigue. Time, effort, and income potential vary, but none of these paths are shortcuts. The real difference is alignment. A beginner should choose the path that fits their current life situation, not their ideal future self. If you're overwhelmed easily, start with one clear role. If you like repetition, choose stability. If you prefer independence, choose systems. What matters most is focus. Trying to do all three at once usually leads to burnout. Realistic progress over 6 months looks small but solid. You understand your workflow. You make fewer mistakes. You feel less uncertainty. Over 12 months, the skill becomes automatic. You don't think about design rules. You simply apply them. One final reminder. The power of this skill is not in Canva itself. Tools change. Platforms evolve. The lasting value is understanding how businesses communicate visually. Canva is simply an accessible way to deliver that value today. If you've been skeptical, that's good. Skepticism protects you from hype. This skill will not guarantee income. It requires patience, clarity, and repetition. But it solves a real problem that exists right now, using a tool that lowers the barrier to entry. The real question is not whether this skill can make money. The real question is whether you're willing to connect it to a clear path and commit long enough to see results. As you wrap up this video, the main thing to hold on to is that designing marketing visuals using Canva templates only becomes valuable when it's used to solve a real, practical need, not when it stays at the level of theory or casual learning. You don't need to do anything big next. A single, simple attempt in a real-world context is enough to turn this from an idea into experience, and that experience is what makes progress feel real over time. From there, it becomes easier to decide what's worth continuing and what isn't. If this kind of calm, realistic approach to income skills is helpful for you, consider subscribing to the channel for more videos that focus on clarity, patience, and practical thinking rather than hype.